Ethiopia made significant strides in conserving the country's biodiversity and changing livelihoods. And South Korean volunteers dispatch activities in Ethiopia. Ethiopia's Minister of Urban and Infrastructure, Jaltu Sani, urged the private sector to invest in climate-resilient urban development, emphasizing the country's commitment to tackling climate change while reaping the benefits of a sustainable and expanding economy. Sani acknowledged the threat posed by climate change, particularly in urban areas, emphasizing the need for smart technologies, data-driven decision-making, and sustainable urban planning to construct resilient cities that can adapt to population growth and climate shocks. Ethiopia's urbanization rate is currently at 4.4% per annum, necessitating the construction of climate-resilient cities that can adapt to population growth and climate shocks. Ethiopia's Ministry of Finance and the AMEA Power partner are to build the Horn of Africa's largest 300 megawatts onshore wind power project, which represents a significant milestone in the country's renewable energy sector. The Ministry of Finance announced the signing of a landmark agreement with AMEA Power for the construction of the Aisha Wind Power Project. The Aisha Wind Energy Project is poised to become the largest wind energy project in the Horn of Africa after investing $600 million. Ethiopia's Minister of Finance, Ahmed Shide, said the Aisha Wind Power Project will be implemented with strong government-to-government support by AMEA Power, prominent private sector player. The Ethiopian Airlines, Africa's largest airliner, announced preparation to introduce a new freighter route to Casablanca, Morocco, the first of its kind in the Maghreb region. Climbing the Atlas Range, this edition brings Ethiopian Airlines' total African freighter destinations to 34, delivering reliable and efficient services. In its 77 years of successful operations, Ethiopia, the fastest-growing airliner, has become one of the continent's leading carriers, unrivaled in efficiency and operational success. In addition to its main hub in Addis Ababa, it is also pursuing its multi-hub strategy through a hub in Lome, Togo with AirSky, in Lilongwe, Malawi with Malawi Airlines, and in Lusaka, Zambia with Zambia Airways. Welcome back. You're watching ABC World. Ethiopia once again came to the limelight when it set up an exhibition pavilion at COP28, where it shared the success stories in the implementation of the ongoing Green Legacy Initiative to the world community. Reflecting on this, Professor of Environmental Ecology and lecturer at Addis Ababa University Center for Environmental Science, Makriao Argao, stated that Ethiopia as a nation has played its share in conserving the country's biodiversity and also changing livelihoods at the same time. Tegus Charnisa brings us up to speed.
In the past 100 years, biodiversity around the world has decreased dramatically. Many species have gone extinct. Extinction is a natural process. Some species naturally die out while new species evolve. But human activity has changed the natural process of extinction and evolution. African nations are making efforts to properly navigate biodiversity and ecology issues. Approached by ABC, Professor of Environmental Ecology and lecturer at Addis Ababa University Center for Environmental Science, Professor Makriao Argao disclosed that Ethiopia as a nation has played its share in conserving the country's biodiversity and also changing livelihoods at the same time.
We have been doing a lot in conserving our biodiversity resources and also making use of these resources for changing people's livelihood and making progress in our economic development. So as you know, much of our economic progress really comes from the natural resource sector, particularly agriculture and name it. So in that regard, we have been doing as a nation lots of interventions, actions by preparing programs, national programs, policies, and also Ethiopia is always at the forefront in accepting and also signing the global conventions, commitments, starting from the CBD, name it, all those.
The professor further called on countries that signed the Paris Pledge to adjust their national plans and policies towards low carbon emission development pathways.
So what should countries do? What does that pledge mean? Each and every country has a responsibility to adjust its national program, its national policies towards low carbon emission development pathway. So what does that mean? That means countries are required to commit themselves to at least reduce the level of emission at their national level by a certain percentage that they will be willingly able to reduce until 2030, so that this zero emission target by 2050 can be reached.
Scientists estimated that species are dying out at hundreds of times the natural rate. A major reason for the loss of biodiversity is that natural habitats are being destroyed. The fields, forests, and wetlands where wild plants and animals live are disappearing.
And finally, Ethiopia and South Korea have built comprehensive and historical bilateral ties in various fields. Talking with ABC English, country director of Korean International Cooperation Agency, KOICA, said his organization is actively working to provide technical and financial support to Ethiopia. Haptamu Ashagri has the details.
Ethiopia and Korea have enjoyed exemplary bilateral ties in various areas over the past many years. Talking with ABC English, country director of KOICA Ethiopian office, Cho Han Deong, said KOICA is undertaking various projects to support Ethiopia to ensure sustainable development goals in various areas.
We have contributed to the sustainable development of Ethiopia by providing our ODA programs in education, in public administration, agricultural development, and so on and so forth. There are many successful stories by which the local peoples and the governments could provide better services and also increase and promote the productivity and the livelihood of the local people.
He noted Korea is always development.
We try to link ODA with private sector's resources to expedite the development in Ethiopia in terms of the technology and in terms of the job creation through the industrializations and so on.
As the nation of standing with South Korea independence, Han said Korea is aware of the good deed of Ethiopian veteran soldiers at a difficult time for all Koreans. KOICA Deputy Country Director Hai Jung Choi for her part said that South Korea is always determined to support Ethiopia due to its special connection with South Korea.
Volunteerism here in Ethiopia, for us, it is kind of based on our blood relations. Our blood relations from our soldiers here in Ethiopia for their sacrifice in the Korean War. And based on the blood relations, we'd like to dispatch our volunteers and for the most vulnerable communities.
The KOICA National Conference on the Recovery of the 2023 International Volunteerism Day has been observed after the COVID-19 pandemic in Ethiopia.
That's all we had for now. I'm Tabitha John. Thank you for watching. Have a good time and take care.